Rick and Scott Steiner. Let me welcome you back.
Oh, Team 3D, you guys are out of your mind coming to Atlanta, Georgia, the place that the Steiner brothers got their start in professional wrestling. You guys are out of your mind making it a table match, because tonight we're going to beat you at your own game. And after it's all said and done, you're going to be taking splinters out of your fat asses all night long, because you got some fat asses. The only chance you have no chance, but you had a chance, is that you can run lickety split. Because you can't run because you got some fat asses. And after it's done, we're going to have a tailgate party for all my freaks out there in Atlanta, Georgia. You wanted some, you got some. This is the big time, boys. You come down that aisle, the Steiner brothers has got something for you. Ooh, 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 it's a dog pound. Ooh.
And welcome back to Retro Wrestling Games Presents. I'm your host, Lex G, and with me, as always, is Matt Riley. How you doing tonight, Matt?
I'm doing better than the Cleveland Indians.
Oh. Ooh. Now, today is World Series Day, Game 7. Cubs versus the Indians.
Unending game.
Yes. I blame the government.
Yes. Super secret governments out there.
So this episode, we're going to take a look at Super Fire Pro Wrestling for the Super Famicom, aka the Super Nintendo. It was released in December 1991 for the Super Famicom system in Japan. This is a Japan-only exclusive. This is the debut of this series on the Super Nintendo. Previous to this, it was on the TurboGrafx 16. And it's made by the same people who did the pro wrestling game, the Black Box version for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So obviously, this game has better graphics, bigger sprites, and more moves than its previous games. Again, for a first attempt for a wrestling game in 1991, the graphics, they're okay. They just look like upgraded graphics that you would see on the NES. I mean, I don't think they're as good as, say, Super WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble, but I do think they're better than WCW Super Brawl. So the thing about Fire Pro Wrestling in general, it's widely considered, and some may argue this, as the greatest wrestling series of games of all time. Do I personally feel that way? I don't know how I feel, to be completely honest. It's definitely in the conversation. So you have, obviously, your VPW, your No Mercy type games, and then you have Super Fire Pro. Some people say like SmackDown 2 or SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Again, it's just an opinion at this point. Don't get mad at me. We'll talk about that at the end of the show.
Haters.
So in terms of this game, again, this series was very popular in Japan. But one person who did not like this game was the Giant Baba. He was very upset that they used his likeness because this game, again, is an unlicensed game, but everyone looks very familiar. So you know who exactly everyone is. They may have a different color tights or trunks or what have you, but you can definitely just go back and change those anyway. Make them look identical to what they should be in the real world. So again, he was pretty pissed off, and he actually did get the Giant Shiba, which is the Giant Baba stand-in, was removed from future installments of this game.
Well, I will tell you, I watched the clips you sent me, and that one that was the retrospective was excellent.
Yeah.
But even like the older versions, the gameplay is smooth, fluid. You can see who's who is who. The action, I mean, again, you were telling me how the actual gameplay works, the engine. Even so, like, as a button masher like myself, I would enjoy playing because it'd be fun to watch the sick moves.
So this game is a button masher's nightmare, because if you're a button masher, you'll literally get your ass kicked. So essentially, the way the controls work, again, that's the two barriers to entry. I would consider this game as the controls. But as a type, that's the way the game is played. So it's all timing based. So you would basically walk towards your opponent. It would initiate a grapple, and then on most of the games there's a tell. So would it be, bending at the elbows, bending at the knees, and then you hit whatever combination that you want to do. So if it's down in A to do a pile driver, you try to do that. And the first game, this game, I had a hard time because there's no tell. Like you lock up and you guys are both static. You guys are not moving anywhere. And it was hard for me to figure out what exactly the timing was on this particular game. It gets easier throughout the series to kind of figure that out. So they made the game tough initially. The second barrier entry is obviously the graphics. Well, the graphics look great, they're smooth. They tend to be a generation behind. And for those of you who are graphics visual junkies, who like games like 2K17 that look fantastic, HD, or games like Wrestle Kingdom, they're very smooth in terms of graphics, looking great. Again, these are basic sprites, very vanilla, but this series is not known for its graphics. Actually, they probably could do better, but they spent their time elsewhere. Would be developing new match concepts, create wrestler edits. This is the first series where you can really mess around with the computer AI, and there's different, either you can make your wrestler a high flyer and it gives them a different kind of moveset and different stance. You can make them a technical wrestler that gives you different options for different moves, different stance as well, or it could be a brawler. So again, it's the first game that you can really mess around with, computer AI. This series is also the first game where you can download packs of wrestlers. In the Dreamcast version, the Fire Pro Wrestling V, people could upload it, and this is like back in the day. This is 1999, 2000, I believe. Again, that's something that's really big in today. If you watch my NWA 1983 project, all the wrestlers that are in the game are ones that I've downloaded because I suck at Create Wrestler. Any kind of gameplay modes, options, that kind of stuff were innovated by Fire Pro Wrestling, and that's why it's really, really close to a lot of people's heart. I know this for a fact that Super Fire Pro Wrestling X Premium, they actually, guys on the internet went in to hack the ROM and then made it in English so they could play it. So I have two copies. Because guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but for the exceptions of the arcade games, I own all these games. I just want to make sure that we're clear on that. So I own 2 copies, complete in the box, of Super Fire Pro Premium X. But my Retron 5 is what I use to record on because you can use the HDMI. You can load a patch card and I can turn it into English so I can understand it, which is sweet. So this game has 21 standard wrestlers plus 3 hidden bosses. We're gonna go through the roster real quick here. I'm gonna give you guys the actual names, not the names that they used. So the roster includes Jushin Thunder Liger, nice. Masasa Funaki, Great Muta, Antonio Inoki, the Pegasus Kid. You would know him as Chris Benoit. Tiger Jeet Singh, Fujiwara, Hashimoto, Ricky Shoshu, Bad News Brown.
Oh, hey now.
Yeah, Tenru, Masawa, Jomo Shiruda, Giant Baba, Road Warrior Animal, Stan Hansen, The Ultimate Warrior, Akira Medea, Big Van Vader, and Hulk Hogan. Hell of a roster here, especially for 1991. And to be completely honest, to have 24 wrestlers, where games like Super WrestleMania have like 10 or 12 or 8, is amazing. So even with the fake Hulk Hogan and the fake Big Van Vader. There's also the hidden wrestlers. You have, Ricky Dozon. You have Bruiser Brody.
Bruiser Brody.
Yeah, Brody's in the game. So again, you can, there's different match types. There's the Open League, which is a round-robin competition where each wrestler competes to achieve the highest ranking from match points. Again, round-robin tournaments are a staple of Japanese wrestling. We don't see it here much in the States, but it's like their big thing over there in Japan. So they do a lot of round-robin. Like IWGP, like the original IWGP tournament, like the one that Hogan won and stuff like that. Yeah. Those were all like round-robin tournaments. Kind of like soccer, I guess.
Bound for Glory?
Yeah, Bound for Glory is another. Yeah, like that. I don't know if I'm a fan of that or not, to be honest. It's interesting. Like, I have a bad taste in my mouth because of Starcade. Starcade 89. Yeah, when they did that fucking tournament with
Muta, Sting, Flair, and
Luger. Yeah. And then fucking Muta didn't win any matches.
Yeah.
You ever heard about that? Like, they wanted to make champion, but it would probably require him turning babyface, and Gary Hart didn't want to turn him babyface. But yeah, I'd love to see a Muta championship run back in the day. I think it would be important. But again, for Super Fire Pro Wrestling, again, this game is vanilla. Probably the best term I would use for this game. Again, there's better games in the series, but you can see where like this is like the base, right? So this is like your base, and when you see the progressions, and like every year the game that comes out, or every 2 years or what have you, you can see the game improve and improve and improve and improve and improve, and they do an amazing job with it. do I consider this game a must-buy or must-own? No, I do not. There are games in the series that are must-own, like Super Fire Pro Premium X is a must-own. Fire Pro D is a must-own from Dreamcast. And Fire Pro Wrestling Returns for the PlayStation 2. Those are the 3 must-own in this series. But this one I wouldn't consider must-own, but it's a curiosity. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, this is how it kind of all started. It's not the first game of the series, because you got Thunder Pro, and you get the games on the TurboGrafx, and once I get a TurboGrafx 16, once I can afford to purchase one, I'll be reviewing those games as well. I do have Thunder Pro, and we'll get to that at some point as well. It was supposed to be the Jesse Ventura game, but that's a whole nother story.
Right.
But I give this game, I don't like doing stars and stuff like that, but I would say it's probably 3 out of 5. To be completely honest, it's it's a solid game all around, and no complaints here. I mean, just you gotta get your timing down. That's gonna be the big thing, getting the timing down. Once you get the timing down, you're good to go. And I think when I look at these games, it's about, okay, are the games good? And those are my opinions. Are the games fun? That's also my opinion. If they're good games that are fun, then I'm usually pretty happy with. So what are you thinking, Matt?
Like I said, I just from watching the gameplay alone, it was really enjoyable watching. I could tell I would have fun playing that game. Yeah. And I think copyrights be damned. I just enjoy games that give you a lot of freedom creatively.
I wonder if I don't know how the Japanese society works. I don't know if they're not very litigious over there, or they don't give a shit about copyrights, or the copyright rules are very lax. Like if this game came out in the States, both WCW and the WWF would have been all over this fucking thing. They got the main event, the arcade game, pulled off because it was copyright. They had fucking King Kong Bundy and Hulk Hogan in it.
Oh yeah, I love that game.
So that one, they had made them remove them from the arcade. So. Yeah, we'll get to that game, because that's an interesting story with an interesting game, but we'll get to that one in probably the next couple episodes, to be honest. So guys, I just want to briefly touch on something. So the other day, I received a comment on one of my videos, which is always a great thing. I enjoy getting comments. That someone that disagreed with assessment of a game. The game being WCW Monday Nitro for the PlayStation 1.
Sucks. What? Where did that come from?
No, I just want everyone to understand is that, firstly, my opinions are my opinions, and they're not right, wrong, or indifferent. They're just my personal opinions when I play through these games. Most of these games I played as a kid, and then I go back and play them as an adult. And sometimes sometimes nostalgia kind of clouds your judgment a little bit. Some of the games I thought were fantastic when I played them as a kid kind of stink now. Although that wasn't the case with this game. Even back in 1998, when this game came out, I thought it was terrible. To this day, I still think it's terrible. The 3 reasons why I don't think WCW Nitro is a good game is that the visuals are muddy and kind of gross looking. Even for that time, I know the PS1 was kind of rough in terms of wrestling games and their graphics. Not a lot of different move sets. When you have like Ric Flair doing Hurricanranas and shit like that, they're not accurate, and it's weird. And the controls are not good. I mean, and those are the kind of the big 3 things there that makes a good wrestling game that you need to have to make good wrestling games. But that's not my particular issue. I mean, I'm personally fine with people disagreeing with me. If you want to leave a comment saying, "Hey, Alex, you were wrong," or "This is the reason why I like a game," I'm cool with that. Let's continue the conversation. I think right now the way the world works is it's super weird. Where if you have a different opinion than someone, then you don't know what you're talking about, or you're stupid, and that's kind of the world we live in. We're talking about the social media. You see a lot of it with the election and that kind of stuff. That we can no longer have open dialogue. We can no longer have the conversation where we can have the back and forth, because the person that you're debating is just automatically stupid because they don't have your opinion. And if you want to be that closed-minded, then I kind of feel sorry for you.
Yeah, dummy. What? Oh.
But I tell you this, I mean, we have a comment section for a reason. I do respond to, I think, every comment that someone's made on this channel that I personally responded to. And I shot back my opinion. Now, you can thumbs down my video all you want, that's fine. And you can unsubscribe too, I mean, which this particular person did, just unsubscribe, thumbs down, unsubscribed, and kind of left. Without continuing the conversation. And I wish he didn't do that, because we can continue to have the conversation. Now, if he would have gave me reasons why he liked the game, or something that I missed in the review, and then I can give it another look and make sure that hey, maybe my opinion is different, or hey, this is the reason why he likes the game. He likes the hidden characters, he likes the arcadey type play, that kind of stuff. But when you don't give the reasons why you like a game, I can't understand where you're coming from. That being said, anyone who disagrees with any of my assessments are more than welcome to download Skype and join me on the show and tell me why you like that particular game. I have no problem doing that. I'll put you on. I'll put you on the show. You know what I mean? So, that being said, is like, I do wish you well, and I know that you really enjoy this game, that WCW Nitro. I'm glad that you like it. Someone has to, I guess. Hopefully, if you catch another one of my videos, that maybe you agree with my my review on it. Maybe not, but who knows. So, Matt, what are your thoughts about kind of the way the world works?
Well, I think exchanging ideas is important. One good example of just, looking the world at large right now, people are on one side or the other voting, and unfortunately, some people don't have any way to express their frustration other than saying, I hate your candidate, or saying why they enjoyed their candidate or whatever. Well, same with video games. Like, I was a huge main event mark. I had many quarters die at that game's doorstep. So damn them to hell for taking it out of the arcades. But like anything in life, if it's a worthwhile endeavor, you can talk about it, bring it up, and back up your claim.
Like I said, I don't have any problem with someone disagreeing with me. Well, let's continue the conversation. Let's talk about it. Tell me why you like something. Just don't, call me a noob and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, if anyone that knows me, I'm like the nicest guy in the world. So, I like to have the I like anyone who talks about wrestling. If you like wrestling, then I'm a fan of you. Right. That's why that's why I wish people would comment more on the channel. Let's continue the conversation, pro or con. You know what I mean? So, all right. That being said, final word on Super Fire Pro Wrestling. Again, not a must-own. It definitely would be a curiosity purchase if you're going to purchase. It is the groundwork and the base for a fantastic game series. Is it the greatest game series of all time? I mean, that's up for debate. It's definitely in the conversation. Again, along with Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, No Mercy, and whatever games you want to put in that list as well. One day I'll probably do a top 10 video game list of all time video and get a lot of flack for it. But overall, I think it's a good game. It's solid. It's fun, and these games are supposed to be fun. So that's what I'm basing on. When a game's not fun, then it's not going to be good at the end of the day. So that being said, we are officially running out of time. So for Matt Riley, I'm Lex G.